is caffeine. Caffeine are highly referred as stimulating drugs. It is known as psychoactive drug because it stimulates the nervous system and has an impact on thinking, mood, or in a person's behavior. It accelerates the signal crossing between the nerve impulses traveling in between the brain and spinal cord. Caffeine boosts hormones such as epinephrine and cortisol, which cause in the increase of respiration rate, heart rate, and blood pressure. These changes in hormone level giving people a temporary energy boost and in the elevation of mood. Biological molecule of caffeine. Caffeine is a methyl-xanthine alkaloid, which is a type of purine alkaloid. Caffeine has a molecular formula of C8H10N4 and O2. Metabolism of caffeine towards the body. Caffeine is digested into the blood and then into the body tissues. The whole process could take up to 45 minutes. The optimum level of caffeine concentration is achieved within 15 to 120 minutes. Detoxification of caffeine from the body is done mainly through metabolism in the liver.
Okay, I will now talk about the benefits of caffeine. Firstly, caffeine increases the alertness of the brain. Caffeinated drink can increase brain alertness. This is because the brain contains receptors that binds with adenosine to carry out a biochemical reaction and reduces the rate of secreting signal molecules, hence causes the body to feel tired. However, the caffeine molecule serves as a temporary inhibitor towards the adenosine as the caffeine molecule is capable of binding with the brain receptors. This occurs because the caffeine molecular structure is slightly similar but only smaller to the structure of the adenosine. However, it lacks the ability of activating the biochemical reaction in the receptor and thus making the brain less tired. Secondly, caffeine burns calories easily. Caffeine boosts our metabolic rate. It can increase our metabolic rate between 30 and 150 minutes after the ingestion of food particles. Roughly around 10 ounces of coffee can bring an increase of 7 to 11% in the resting metabolic rate, which can last for 1 to 3 hours after food ingestion. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system to send signal to the fat tissues to be hydrolyzed. Moreover, adrenaline hormone will be secreted from the adrenal glands into the bloodstream to trigger the hydrolyzation of fats into fatty acid, which then will be used for energy production. However, the conversion of fats to fatty acid and glycerol alone will not burn a lot of calories unless a physical activity such as exercising and running will carry out. The body will then utilize the fatty acid released for energy production.
Now let's talk about bad side of caffeine. Caffeine causes indigestion. If you have gastroesophageal reflux disease, which will cause stomach fluids to backwash into your esophagus, you may find the symptoms got aggravated by what you drank. Caffeine causes heartburn in some people. Caffeine may trigger gastroesophageal reflux disease symptoms because it can relax the lower esophageal sphincter muscle. Substances that contain caffeine can irritate the esophagus or weaken the lower esophageal sphincter muscle. A weakened lower esophageal sphincter muscle can lead to the backflow of stomach contents that causes acid reflux. Caffeine inhibits collagen production in the skin. A research was conducted and proved that caffeine causes the blood vessels to constrict. As a result, the blood vessels at the surface of the skin won't deliver sufficient amount of antioxidants and nutrients to promote the production of collagen. Dr. S. Manjula Jagasodi, MD, CEO and founder of the Miami Skin Institute, said that drinking too much of coffee can cause our skin to be wrinkled prematurely and will be more lax as time goes by.
Ugly side of caffeine. The ugly side of caffeine is the addiction. How do you get slaved by caffeine? Well, brain produces a neurotransmitter called the adenosine. This adenosine slows down your brain activity. The more the adenosine attaches to the brain, the more sleepy you feel. But caffeine does the opposite. it blocks away the adenosine from attaching to the receptor and speeds up the brain activity. However, in long term of consumption, the brain creates more adenosine receptors which would make you to sleep. In order to overcome this sleepiness, you tend to increase your caffeine consumption on a daily basis, which at the end leads to an addiction and to overdose. Now, let's talk about how to overcome caffeine addiction. There are actually a few ways to overcome it. Firstly, is by gradually limiting your daily caffeine consumption. For example, if you normally drink 4 cups of coffee per day, then try to drink 3 cups, then 2, and so on. Secondly, you can gradually reduce the caffeine content of your beverage. For instance, switch to half calf or decaf coffee, or even tea before quitting altogether. Thirdly, get extra sleep to combat fatigue and grogginess. Finally, go for a morning run or fit in a quick workout to naturally boost your energy without caffeine.
Conclusion: it depends on individual on the intake of caffeine. Some consumes it in moderation. Caffeine has mostly positive effects, mainly on alertness, well-being, and both intellectual and physical endurance performance. Caffeine is a mild central nervous stimulant, and lifelong caffeine consumption may decrease the risk of pathological conditions such as age-related cognitive decline.